Good morning, everyone, and welcome for another edition of Rich and Haas. And we are Rich and Haas. How you doing this morning?
Not bad, not bad. How about you, man?
I'm cold, but I'm warming up, getting ready to watch all these conference championships this weekend with the playoffs right around the corner.
Yeah. Saw a little upset there last night with North Texas getting knocked off by Tulane, which I'm sure you're happy about. Um,
That was unexpected, but hey, I was happy for him. I thought it had been a close game, but
North Texas kicked themselves in the head over and over. I mean, they just turned the ball over 4 or 5 times, and Tulane took advantage every single time. That's what cost them. I mean, nuts
and
game
I
in a
think
nutshell.
And I think they might have secured themselves a playoff spot for winning that conference. If they did, they'll just be the second team from our state to make the playoffs.
I think so. Depending how the ACC championship goes today, there might be two group of five conference teams that make it in. Because if Duke ends up winning the ACC championship, I think you're going to see James Madison get in. And then you'll have James Madison and Tulane in that aren't Power Five conference teams. James Madison, that's Charlottesville, Virginia, up near where I did radio for about a year and a half.
Sure. Yeah. University of Virginia Cavaliers. Yeah. I know James Madison. I think is Harrisonburg. I think or something like that.
Harrisonburg, I got them flipped around. I was in Stanton, which is kind of in the triangle there between the three. Shout out to Chip Crable if you happen to be catching this. Uh, Chip was the guy I did a lot of my stuff with down there. But
Plus, James Madison even picked up Billy Napier, who was a former Raging Cajuns coach, and then he just came from. He was at Florida. Now he's going to
the
JMU.
Florida,
So
yeah.
now he's going back to the Sun Belt. But no, I figured we just. I don't have much. I mean, I can give you the quickest recap of Survivor Series I can tell you off the top of my head. I know they got NXT Deadline tonight, which I will tune in real late after I'm watching all them college football games tonight. But I will tune in. Looking forward to that. But to be honest with you, man, Survivor Series. I figured it was gonna go the way it would. I had been hyped so hard to see this, and then it was kind of a sort of a disappointment. I mean, I'll go ahead and say the women's War Games match. I actually enjoyed it. That probably was the match of the night, but some people might agree or disagree because the men's War Games match was also it was good too, but it was so predictable. What I said sort of happened. Braun got the pin for his team, and he pinned CM Punk. It's just the masked character. That's the $1 million question. Who is the masked man? So a lot of people are thinking Austin Theory. Some think might be are joking around saying like a Jericho or something.
Yeah.
Vakir and Nikki Bella, I felt like shouldn't have been on the card. I said it was the worst match of the night, and I don't usually want to disagree with anything but Stephanie Vakir, but that was probably the least interesting match I've ever saw her face, but it's not her fault. And then Cena and Dominic Mysterio. I knew Dom was going to eventually win, but I felt like it would have been a lot better if he won it on his own instead of this 6-on-1 stuff with the Judgment Day. Because I feel like they're just burying Cena just like they buried Goldberg's retirement. With Live Back, the double cross, I saw it in her eyes. When I saw the eyes, I said, "Oh yeah, it's a double cross." I don't know. Like I was highly disappointed in the show, but that's all I got on my Survivor Series take.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm with you. I mean, I'm with you. The women's um, Survivor Series match was the War Games, as they're calling it now. I wish they'd go back to the Survivor Series. We talked about that last week. But the women's match, I thought I must be like the only person in the world that will admit they're a fan of Io Sky. Um,
I me too.
she's not the biggest one of them, but to me, you don't really know what she's going to do one time to the next. The trash can bit, I mean, doing the senton off the cage, she's got more guts than brains, but B, I was really concerned the way she landed. Because the way she landed and had her legs kind of tucked underneath her, I was like, oh boy. That was asking for an injury, which fortunately didn't happen. Um, I I'm going to throw this one out to you. I think Nia's hurt.
Yeah,
I
I've noticed
got
something
knee
too.
issues. I think she's got knee or ankle issues that she's not admitting to. Because I mean, she was never, she was never EO Sky fast in the ring, but she just seems like she's lumbering right now. And I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if she's having knee or ankle issues. And, you know, part of that match, I'll tell you what, though, Lash Legend, I think, showed something, especially when she had that little interaction with Rhea Ripley. Um, and Rhea can make anybody look good. So, I was happy with the women's match. It turned out the way I thought it was going to. Except for I really figured that the ladies were going to come out on top. The way everything played out, I thought was the way it was gonna go. But I thought we were gonna have the heels on both win. Did not expect, but I didn't think far enough ahead to figure that Asuka was gonna miss with the Kabuki miss. And then when she hit Legend with that, it made it a handicap match, and I didn't even think that far ahead. Um, for as good as Stephanie Vaquer is, Nikki Bella is not. Um, I mean, I would have rather seen Jade Cargill against Stephanie Vaquer.
Dream match.
I mean, as bad as Jade Cargill is, I'd have rather seen that. Or, and I realize it's different brands, or a Tiffany Stratton or somebody like that. Liv coming back, it sticks to the gimmick of Dirty Dom, and it sticks to the thing that you brought up last week about the Eddie Guerrero thing, where for a stretch there he couldn't win on his own. He always had to have help somehow, somewhere, whether it was Chavo or China or whoever. It's kind of that sort of thing again. I'm just curious to see what they're going to do with Liv and Roxanne. Because remember, they had that little bit of tension going on there before Liv got hurt. Um, Curious to see, because 3 women in the Judgment Day.
Someone's going to get
I
cut.
kind of I wouldn't be surprised to see somewhere somehow Dominic and Liv getting out of the Judgment Day and doing their own thing. Um, the men's side, it, it, no. I mean, it was. I honestly didn't really like it from the jump. It was just the Braun and Brock thing outside. You shouldn't be able to get outside the ring. The whole premise is you got the cage so you don't get out of the ring. Well, what's Brock do? He just walks right out of the ring.
So I think
Mainly
I did
because they hadn't
some.
put anybody through a table yet.
I think I did some research about that because I thought the purpose was to keep everyone in, but I think it's once all competitors are in, no one can get out until they can all come in. I think it's just falls count. And I wouldn't say falls count anywhere. Anything goes because I think all they had left was Roman. That's why Brock got out, and Roman didn't even get in the cage yet when Brock got out and just F5'd him and everything. So I think it's
Right,
once all
and you're
competitors are in, then you can't get out. But then I agree. I think they should just stay in no matter what.
right. You can finish the match once everybody's in, but the premise of War Games is to keep everybody in. Once you're in, you're in.
Yep.
And that just, you know, kind of drove me nuts. The other part of it too was one of these things is not like the other. One of these things doesn't belong in this ring. Drew, Cody, Punk, Brock, Roman, Jimmy, and Jey Uso. I'm sorry. I mean, I realize Jimmy is getting hammered by everybody in the world right now, but those two guys that had absolutely nothing to do with that match. Absolutely nothing to do with it. Um, The guy climbing in, Chris Jericho has never moved that fast in his life.
Yeah, when I heard
That
that,
guy hit the that guy hit the fence, took 2 steps, was over the fence, and then did the stuff he did in the ring and was out. Chris Jericho's never moved that fast ever.
yeah,
Um,
and whoever said
could it
that,
be
I was
Theory?
laughing. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, could it be Theory? Yeah. Could it be Rollins? No, it's not Rollins.
yeah,
Um,
definitely not.
but then you start thinking, okay, could it be an NXT guy? Could it be
But
somebody? And the first person that came to my mind was Ricky Saints.
I was gonna say Ethan Page, but I don't think Ethan's that skinny. I think he's got a little
I
muscle
don't think
tone.
Ethan's ever moved that fast either.
I think he's got a little muscle tone too. So,
Yeah, I mean, Ethan Page has got more of that Randy Orton starter kit to him. That
but the fact you said
it,
Ricky
it,
Saints, I could see that with his size. Yes, I can see him move that quick.
or maybe there's another one for you conceivably. What about Chad Gable?
Uh, what was his injury? It wasn't his neck, was it, or was it a shoulder injury?
That
I knew they said he was gonna be out for a long time, but I didn't know how long.
Yeah, but they're talking about him being ready to come back.
Well, hear me out. If he comes back, don't give him the El Grande character back. Let Ludwig keep that. He earned that one.
Well, I think they might just because of how they've got. Remember how they had 36 different doinks, and now they've got like the three or
Yeah,
four El Grande Americanos.
and suicide. Remember and for
Yeah,
suicide they had like 3 or 4 different suicides in TNA. Yeah,
yeah, because it was Christopher Daniels and Austin Aries and Shark Boy was even
didn't
suicide
they?
for a while there.
Didn't they do
But
that with La Parka too in WCW? They had like 3 or 4 different La Parkas.
mhm. but I Gable is a valid thought.
Yeah,
Because he could move that fast. He's athletic enough. He can move that fast to get in the ring, get out that quick. Doing a curb stomp is not, it's not a difficult move. It's not like he did any sort of move that was innovative or anything. But you nailed the thing with Braun. Though I really figured Jimmy was going to eat the pin, but now of course this leads to Braun and Punk, and um, which we kind of figured was going to be coming. But I'm anxious to see it.
the only
Probably
thing
at the
is
Rumble, maybe WrestleMania.
I don't know why they're dragging it to the first Raw of the new year on the 1 year anniversary of Netflix. I'm thinking they were going to do it like on Saturday night's main event, even though they're focusing on Cena. But that's a long push, a long storytelling where Braun Breaker and CM Punk to have a title match on Netflix.
Well, I think this is probably going to be a lengthy thing anyway. Because there's a lot of different moving parts you can put to this thing. Um, that you can do tag team stuff, that you can do, group stuff, that kind of deal. Because you got to remember, and I mean, I know he's on a very limited. We probably won't see him again until Rumble schedule, but you got Brock in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
You got Logan Paul in the picture. You've got Bronson Reed, of course, in the picture. Um, so it should be something that they're going to have a lot of pieces and parts to. It's really only what about a 5 week drag?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
So it's not.
January. January. Damn, what was it? I think it's January 5th because New Year's is
Yeah, it's like the
on a
first Monday,
Thursday.
right?
Yeah, because New Year's
Yeah,
Day falls on a Thursday, so I think it's like January 5th, the first Raw of 2026.
and the Rumble is at the end of the month.
Yeah, the thirty
So
first in Riyadh, which they still haven't decided what venue's hosting it. So it's like I feel like this is just a drag and waste of patience and time to say, oh, well, they're going to go to Riyadh because of Riyadh season. But have you got a stadium picked out of like the 30 stadiums you have in that country or in that city? You ain't even got a venue spotted yet.
I don't think they care. They're
They're
making
already
money anyway.
well, now they're already throwing their cards in on the table about Braun Breaker being the potential Rumble winner. So if that's the case, I think we already know what the outcome's going to be on Raw if that's where they're going.
Right, but the big thing you got to look at is they've made they're making money whether they sold one ticket or not. You
You
know,
got to hope.
Saudi Arabia is paying WWE, TKO, whatever you want to call it. I believe it's 50 mil for the show, 50 or 60 mil for the show.
Yeah, and
So they've covered their expenses off of what the Saudi government's paying them.
plus Riyadh season is basically like a festival of events. It's like basically a festival that
Uh,
draws money and draws media, nature, international deals, like the whole 9 yards, like the highest of highs you can get.
yeah, I've heard it's like Carnival in Brazil, where it's just a huge takes over everything and everybody type event. Um,
And they don't just do WWE.
so
Like they've pulled boxing mat fights. UFC is in Riyadh season. Concerts, sporting events,
mhm.
maybe like tennis or maybe not the NBA or the NFL. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future we get an NFL game in Riyadh.
I would. I would. I think that's a little bit that's like people have said, what about Australia? I don't see them going to Australia either. I think it's just too far. Um,
Would you get up
because
at 4 a.m. to watch the Steelers play football?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
because
if
I know.
it's not the matter of watching the games, it's the logistics of getting everything there. You know, the logistics of getting things to England and that isn't as difficult as it would be going halfway around the world if you were going to Australia, you know, or if you were even going to Saudi Arabia. Because I know they've said that some of the stuff for Royal Rumble is on a boat to Saudi Arabia now,
Yeah,
and we're 7 weeks from the event.
yeah. Don't it take? If you're talking about a tugboat or whatever, I mean, don't it? I'm gonna estimate what about take 6 weeks to get everything over there, maybe more.
Maybe more, yeah. I mean, when you're looking at a lot of those girders and all that kind of stuff that they use, and of course, the screen and all that kind of stuff, you can't put that on an airplane. You know,
Well,
you can't put it on a cargo plane and fly it over there.
I wouldn't be
So they've
surprised
got to
if they
use
would.
boats.
I wouldn't be surprised if they like have a warehouse in the near future. Because when they supposed to build like some WWE museum or something in Riyadh, like I wouldn't be
I had
surprised they have a
heard bits and
warehouse in the
pieces.
future. Yeah, they have a
I just think
warehouse.
this whole Riyadh thing is going to end up. I think it's going to end up being a net loss
Well,
simply because you're going to lose a lot of things, especially the WrestleMania that's going to be out there. All the stuff leading into WrestleMania, you're not going to have tens of thousands of people showing up for the fan fest and all that kind of stuff, hundreds of thousands like you do here. I don't care if you're having it in Vegas, Dallas, Pittsburgh, LA, it doesn't matter. You can get to one end of this country to another easy. You can't get from here to Saudi Arabia easy, you know?
well, that's one episode of Dark Side of the Ring I'll be looking forward to in the near future. Is their partnership with Saudi Arabia, and especially when it first started, when the superstars were declining going because of either religious beliefs or especially how women doesn't have a lot of freedom out there. Like I remember when they first went out there, like they had a major shuffle with shows, like they had to change cards up, especially when they had that stupid Best in the World tournament that Shane won at the first Crown Jewel pay-per-view. And then they had
Yeah.
to put, I felt like they pulled a WCW or something. They put retiree legends in the main event and DX and the Brothers of Destruction. and it
Well,
just
that
I
was
felt like
because that was what the Saudis wanted to see. They wanted to see DX versus Undertaker and Kane. They asked for that match specifically.
and Triple H tore a pec.
Huh? I mean, if
Taker
they'd have
almost
done it
well
5 years
that I think it was
before, it would
against
have been better.
Goldberg. Yeah, but I remember they said that main event was one of the most horrific with Triple H tearing the pec.
Oh,
Undertaker, I think, almost had a neck issue, unless that was his match with Goldberg in Saudi. That one of the matches, Undertaker almost broke his neck.
no, that was the Goldberg match
Okay,
because
so that was
Goldberg
Goldberg.
tried to get him up for the jackhammer and it didn't work.
I think it was that match. One of them shows the temperatures was in the triple digits over there. I think it
Uh-huh.
was that Super Showdown with the Goldberg Undertaker match. They were in the 100
Yeah.
temperatures, and then I don't even know what the weather. I'm pretty sure it don't ever get cold in Saudi, but I can't imagine.
Well,
Well, I mean,
no,
there's
but
a lot of
they have
desert.
those times. Yeah, they have just like in Phoenix. Even in Phoenix, you still have some cold weather.
Yeah,
It's just not Minnesota cold weather, but you
or
still have temperatures in
Wisconsin
the 40s and that kind of thing.
or
Yeah,
Chicago.
you still have
Yeah,
temperatures in the 40s and that.
uh, that's what I got right now. I'm it's 45 where I'm at, and it just rained again.
Yeah. Well, we've had sunshine all day here, and we got sunshine coming all day, but it's 49 right now. It's supposed to go to 65 today.
I'm
But
not Kid Rock, but I ain't seen the sunshine in 3 damn days with all this overcast we've had
yeah,
and rain.
we're not in too bad a shape here with the sun. Just been pretty cool in the morning, and then it warms up a little bit in the afternoons.
Um,
But that's
well,
Central Texas for you.
well before I get any predictions on deadline, I figured I want to get your take on this because like I was like I like how we'll kind of go off the subject and talk about something nostalgic. Something happened 30 years ago coming to the anniversary date is something that historically happened or was kind of shocking, mind blowing. I want to get your take on it, but I had to go back and make sure the year was right. I thought it was in 96, but no, it was in 95. One night, Nitro opened up. It was in December of 95. I forgot the date. And all of a sudden, Alundra Blaze gets on TV and throws the women's title in the trash can
Huh?
on live TV. And that was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a shot fired, like a pre-shot fire for the Monday Night Wars, even though Monday Night Wars really didn't, I think, kick off until like when the NWO got involved.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely like you said, a shot fired. And it was just one of those things. And if you've ever seen Eric Bischoff's documentary where they talked to him about this thing, he just said, she brought up the idea and he was like, yeah, do it. Because the big thing you look at, if you've ever read Eric Bischoff's book, Controversy Creates Cash.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it did. I mean, that drew all kinds of attention to TNT and to Nitro and to the WCW. And at that point, they needed it. The bad part was there was no woman in WCW at that time that was worth stepping in the ring with Alundra Blaze or
Unless you
Medusa
caught some,
Michelli, whichever way you want to call her.
unless you caught somebody from like Japan or something, because I think they were doing some partnership with Japan at the time. I don't know which company.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you didn't have. That's one thing that probably one of the biggest things that if you look at now in wrestling compared to 30 years ago, the women's presence. Because back then you may have had half a dozen really good women's wrestlers. Right now, I got 50, sorted all over the place between New Japan, All Japan, AEW, WWE, NXT. You probably got 50 quality women wrestlers out there that can carry on a match, that can make an entertaining match. Um, I didn't even mention AAA and CMLL. These, that to me is one of the biggest differences in wrestling now than what it was 30 years ago. But yeah, that Under Blaze thing, that definitely got the ire up of our friends in Stanford, and put WCW in the mainstream discussion. It really
Oh
did.
yeah. Which I wasn't watching wrestling at that time live, but I've seen that clip countless times from old video packages or even a DVD set I had from it was like the best of WCW Nitro. There was like two different volumes, and I think it was on volume
Mhm.
one. And I remember like they showed like the whole clip from the start of Nitro going live, and then Bischoff, and I think at the time the commentary team was like Eric Bischoff, Bobby Heenan, and probably Mike Tenay. And she just got
You'd be
on
right.
there
Yeah.
on that little panel they used to have and just grabbed like a little office trash can that had like a grocery bag in it instead of an actual trash bag, and she had that iconic pink WWF Women's title that was their belt of the '90s, and just had the can like that and just let it fall right in there and just did like a simple audition promo. Like that's what I think of the WWF Women's Championship belt. Like didn't do a lot of like trash talking or nothing. She just was like, "This is what I think of the WWF's Women's title belt," and just drops it in the trash can. A little simple promo, goes away, and show continues on with your matches.
Yep. It was wild. I did see it live, and boy, that was definitely something. My dad and I just kind of looked at each other when it happened, like, oh. So
Yeah. I think maybe the only thing I can remember my first taste of Nitro for the first time, it was obviously when the NWO was just invading people, beating them down, and spray branding them, spray painting NWO across their backs or on stuff like a truck or a belt or whatever, or on the ring
yeah.
canvas. Like that's when I probably got my first taste of WCW Nitro.
Yeah, see, I was lucky enough. I saw it from the beginning. I saw that first match. The first match really set the tone, and they did a great job of picking a great match to set the tone with Brian Pillman versus Jushin Thunder Liger. Those guys tore the house down, like you would expect, and went. I think it was close to 20 minutes. Then, of course, at the end with Luger showing up after having just been on a taped episode of Raw, and then he shows up live on Nitro at Mall of America. That had everybody hooting and hollering and that kind of stuff too.
Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and before we get to these picks, I got to get your take if you've been to this place or not. Because if you know NXT Deadline, it's in Texas. It's in San Antonio. I'm pretty sure it's a little ways from you, like it is for me. But the venue it's hosting at, it's at like a military base.
Mm-hmm.
Boeing Center Airport.
Whoop, your mic
Ever
your
heard of
mic went
it?
out
Been
for a
to it? I
second.
guess. Um,
Your mic went out for a
yeah,
second.
the
Say that
venue
again.
it's at. I said, it's being held at an Air Force base in San Antonio.
Yeah,
The little venue it's
yeah.
the building it's
The
going to be held in.
I've seen it. Yeah, the Air Force Base is the same Air Force Base that my daughter did her basic training at.
Oh
Um,
wow, awesome.
yeah, it's about 3 hours from me. But yeah, it's at the same base. I've seen the facility. I mean, it's a pretty decent size. It's not a 20,000 seat place or anything like that. It's probably about the same size as Full Sail, maybe a little bit bigger. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's a good spot for them to be because they know NXT is not going to fill a 15,000 seat arena right now.
Yeah, but
Or could they fill a 5 or 6,000, which is what they're going to do tonight? Yeah. Could they possibly fill up to like an eight? Probably,
I don't know why
depending
I
who's fighting.
thought. I thought it was at Freeman Coliseum where they did Takeover San Antonio. That's right next door to it used to be AT&T Center. Now it's Frostbank where the Spurs play. I thought they were going there, or they were going at like some amphitheater they've done an episode of NXT on. But no, they're going to they're going to that Kelly Air Force Base.
Mhm.
Which I mean,
Yeah,
they never
it's
wrong with that.
no, there's nothing wrong with it, and I think it's good that they're getting out. That they're doing because they're doing some house shows and that kind of stuff. The WWE is not doing house shows as much as they used to, nearly as much. But NXT is getting out a little bit and touring a little bit, and I think that's good for the men and the women on the roster, simply because it gives people a chance to see more of them. The people on the
Yeah,
WWE roster, they've had a chance to see for quite a while. A lot of these people on the NXT roster, they haven't seen very long or at all. So, it definitely helps the cause for them.
yeah. But the main, I mean, deadline, cool pay per view name, especially to end a year, like the end of the year and whatnot, the deadline. But the concept of this
Yeah.
show is there's one match they came up with a couple years ago. It's called the Iron Survivor Challenge. To me, with how I've seen this match over the years, it's got a mixture of like a couple matches I've seen in the past. It's a 20-minute time limit match. You got five in there. It's basically like a gauntlet, but it kind of reminds me of the championship scramble they did in 2008. 20-minute time limit, 20-minute match with five people. Whoever scores the most falls in 20 minutes wins. But I feel like they took something from King of the Mountain. If you get pinned in the match, you get locked in a penalty box for 90 seconds. And in this concept, whoever scores the most falls in 20 minutes gets a title shot, usually at their first, like, if you want to call it a PLE, or if it's a special NXT live edition on Tuesday night, New Year's Evil. That's mainly how the concept's been over the years. But it's a very corny gimmick style gauntlet match, but I mean it's mind intriguing to watch, with especially when you got a penalty box involved if you get pinned or whatever. Kind of like in King of the Mountain where you can pin somebody to get them in the penalty box, but if you score a pinfall, you're eligible to go hang the belt up in the air if you scored a pinfall.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean it's a lot of like different schemes and whatnot. But like I remember you said you were not really a fan of the Iron Survivor Challenge, or you had something to say about it.
I'm really not. I mean, to me, it's okay. And please, nobody take this in a negative way. You have to take the person watching this match and realize that they're doing this, they're just relaxing to watch the event. They don't need to be having 27 different rules and instructions to know about in order to get what's going on the TV. The KISS theory works and works very well. Keep it simple, stupid. Even the Elimination Chamber, even War Games, real simple. Guy comes in every 3 minutes. Once everybody's in, then the match beyond starts and you can have a winner. With this thing, you've got 25 minutes, five guys. Everyone that gets a pin or a submission, they get a point. And then if you get pinned or submit, you got to go in the penalty box for 90 seconds and this and that and the other. No. If you're going to do that, why not just go with what you said a little while ago? Make it a gauntlet match.
Yeah, you
Draw one
pin,
to
you're
five.
out. Yeah, you pin, two
You
start,
pin,
you
you're
get pinned, you're
done.
out. Yeah.
You pin or submit, you're done. And the next person comes in. And if you make it through the gauntlet, you win. That's easy. Anybody can follow that.
Now,
You want
what
to
happens
make
if
it
the
where a
time
7-year-old gets it.
if they were to do it like that? What would happen if the 20-minute expires and no one
You
wins?
don't
Then
have a
what
time limit
happens?
on it.
Oh, you don't have a time limit. Okay.
No, no. You don't have a
Or hell,
time limit on it. It's not an Iron Man match.
or hey, make it a 60-minute time limit. Iron Survivor, just make it a 60-minute. You got 60 minutes to finish this gauntlet. They'll have it done by
You
then.
know, it, it, it's one of those. if you're a cooking person, okay, mashed potatoes are fantastic. Chocolate ice cream is great.
Mhm.
Chocolate ice cream and mashed potatoes is not going to be very good. An Iron
But
Man match is great. A gauntlet match is great. Putting the two together, no.
yeah,
I don't
well,
think that that's a good idea. But that's where again, you've got to cater it and you're not dumbing it down. Please understand, you're not dumbing it down, but you're making it where anyone and everyone can understand. Cater it to a 7 or 8 year old kid when it comes to the rules of the event. And
well,
that's where you're going to grow that fan base. You're going to have, I guarantee you, there's going to be people that have watched every episode of NXT leading into this thing and still don't know what the hell they're doing tonight.
which
So,
no lie,
I mean, that's
no
just me.
lie, no lie. I mean, I used to watch it every week, but I guess I've been so busy with either hopping on open mic or getting preps for my show or just watching basketball games on TV or being at basketball games in general. I barely have time to keep up with NXT, but I definitely try and watch it like the next day or whatever, especially on the CW because I
Mhm.
have the CW app. But I'm gonna try and watch it more and like every Tuesday night, especially live, because I enjoy watching the product. I feel like it might be WWE's best product out of Raw and SmackDown. Like NXT on top for me, then Raw, then SmackDown. That's like my top three for WWE right now.
Well, and I mean, I don't watch a lot of NXT either for a lot of the same reasons as you. Um, is it the best? They've got more compelling storylines. I don't know if it's the best
Mm-hmm.
product, but the storylines are better. I mean, how many times how many times can we have this Cody and Drew McIntyre thing fire off? It's only been firing off for how long now?
Two
The
months at
absolute
least.
only thing that can happen now is for McIntyre. See, now we talked last week about Hell in a Cell.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you end this thing.
Yeah.
You put those two guys in Hell in a Cell, and that ends it. Because they've been going back and forth and all this, and maybe that's what they end up doing.
Yeah. Well,
Excuse me.
we'll
I just
go
know I'm
ahead.
kind of getting tired of this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, we'll go ahead and make these predictions here. We only got
Sure.
five here, two Iron Survivor challenges, and two title matches, and one non-title match here. But speaking of Iron Survivor, we'll start with the men's one. The winner gets an NXT Championship match at New Year's Evil. I don't know if it's going to be a PLE or it's a live Tuesday night show, but we got Javon Evans, Leon Slater, Joe Hendry, Dion Lennox, and Miles Bourne.
Well, I mean, to me, given those five guys, Javon Evans to me seems the most ready to go to the next level, meaning carrying a strap, meaning being able to go to the main roster, that kind of thing. We've seen what he's done the couple times he's been on SmackDown. Um, I would love to see him win it, but then there's that wild card in there of Joe Hendry. Um, but I think I'm going to stick with Javon Evans. I hope that they put the rocket on him and let him do what he can do.
So I'm at a flip a coin with Javon Evans or Joe Hendry, but I feel like because they're both so over, but if we're going by popularity, obviously Joe Henry's been the popular one, so I'm gonna just stick with my gut and say Joe Hendry wins the Iron Survivor because I think he can
Gotcha.
afford to lose another NXT title shot. Javon Evans, I feel like if he's in it again, he has to win it. He can't lose again. He already got screwed the last time he was in a title shot when he fought Obafemi at I think it was Heat Wave or something where with the whole referee miscounting and whatnot or counting the three with the shoulder up. Like
Yeah.
if the next time Javon is in a title shot, he has to win it. So that's why I say I think wait till like Stand and Deliver WrestleMania weekend to put it on Javon Evans.
I got you.
So I'll let Joe Henry kick off 2026 challenging whoever first. Then you got the women's winner gets an NXT Women's Championship match at New Year's Eve as well, which I want to say I think JC Jane is the women's champion again. Yes. She's got the
Yeah,
belt back. So it's Soruka, Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, Jordan Grace, and Kendall Gray.
this is another one. I've got two that are sticking in my head. Um, of course, Kalani Jordan uh, is up there, but so is Jordan Grace. I've watched Jordan Grace since she was starting out TNA, and has made a major transformation in everything in her game. Um, she's had a few shots; it hasn't quite worked. I think she wins this one and gets that opportunity because I don't think they want fatal. Yeah, I want to say fatal attraction. That's not right.
A fatal
Um,
influence? Yeah, fatal
fatal
influence.
influence. Yeah, I don't want them to have all the belts. And then I think you get Jordan Grace beating JC Jane. Give me Jordan Grace to win this one.
Okay, so Kendall Gray, she you if you don't know who she is, she's on Evolve, which I don't watch Evolve, but it's free on Tubi. She's the Evolve Women's Champion, so she's kind of stepping up. I don't see her winning. Jordan Grace, it's like if you're gonna strap the rocket on her, that's another one that's got to win it because she's already had like 3 or 4 title shots and she's lost every single one.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not 100% sure about her. Lola Vice, I absolutely love this woman. They're actually using her right in AAA, but when they're gonna use her right in NXT, and I'm scared to pick her, and they still don't put the strap on her either. That's another one that's long overdue for a title. But I'm like Javon and Joe Hendry. I'm stuck with Soruka or Kalani Jordan. But if Soruka's still in that storyline with Zarya, I might have to go with Kalani Jordan because she's no longer the Knockouts champion. She lost that, so I feel like she's ready to step up and finally hold the NXT Women's title after she held the North American title or was the first Women's North American champion. And I love Kalani Jordan, even if she's got a little does a heel turn. I'm gonna go with Kalani Jordan.
It's a good. That's a valid pick. I'm with you. I think Sol Ruka is going to get screwed by Zarya,
Yeah.
so that's why I didn't even consider her for this thing. I think some way, somehow, Zarya is going to mess things up for Sol Ruka.
Yeah. Then this women's match, this one can go either way, but you got Tatum Paxley versus Izzy Dame.
Yeah, it can go either way, but I got a funny feeling something's going to happen that we're going to have. Again, Tatum Paxley's emotion get the best of her. Give me Izzy to win this one.
Yeah, Izzy could probably be a favorite if she's got the Culling stable involved, whether if Nico or Sean gets involved. But I'd like to see an underdog story. I think we could maybe see an upset, and I got Tatum Paxley taking this one by a long shot.
Okay.
Then you got our first championship match of the night, which I've kind of enjoying the skits with these two. You got Ethan Page versus Mr. Iguana, which I just discovered Mr. Iguana back in the summer with Worlds Collide, and I find him one of the most entertaining guys that I think they need to do better with. He's like Triple A's R-Truth. He's so corny with that puppet iguana. Like I stole Ethan Page's car, and he's a good attraction to like to draw a crowd to get some people smiling and give you some crazy moves and
Yeah.
whatnot. But is he champion material? What you think?
I feel exactly the same way. I mean, he's great for the kids. He'll make you laugh and that kind of deal, but I don't know that you want a comedy act, taking out a guy like Ethan Page. Um, Give me Ethan Page to win this one.
Like Ethan is another guy. Like they used him right when he first got there. Like they put the world title on him at one point. They put the North American title on him. I love his partnership with Chelsea Green. which I think he's still a double champion. Aren't they still the mixed tag champs for AAA? But his little
Him
puppet,
and Chelsea Green, yeah, yeah.
um Layeska. Like I love, I don't know what it means, but I mean I love when he gets the, it kind of reminds me of Santino when he does the Layeska stuff. I feel like it's Santino and the Cobra or Mick Foley and Mr. Sacco. That's what it kind of reminds me of.
Uh-huh.
But just to do funny, corny stuff, that's where our truth, in my opinion, comes into play. It's like a little bit of our truth and Santino Morella and maybe even Mick Foley.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with, I got Ethan Page
You nailed that
retaining.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Ethan retaining.
By the way, since if AAA is still doing a partnership with TNA and whatnot, can we have, just for once, can we have a little Cobra Lieska stare off like we got with Mr. Sacco and the Cobra at the 2012 Royal Rumble?
Possibly.
But oh, and if you read anything online about TNA ending their partnership with WWE, that is a hoax. Yeah, TNA finally got him a
Right.
TV deal. They're going to I think it's AMS in January, which I'm
AMC.
looking
Yeah.
forward to that. And it's a better start time for me. Like 8 o'clock on a Thursday night, I can 100% watch it live instead of waiting for the replay at 9 p.m. on Access TV. And they're doing it the weekend before their first pay per view of the year, Genesis, which I'm gonna watch that one for sure. I always watch their 4 pay per views every year, but I like how TNA's getting back on its feet.
Yeah, I am too. I like that, they got the deal going with AMC. Um, it's definitely a lot more accessible channel than Access is. And I think we're going to see the results from that.
I just wish NXT would, like, if they have to, go back to USA where I can watch it live, and because I can't catch CW, I have to wait till the next business day to watch it on the app. So I wish they'd get a different TV deal as well. But that's on them. Um, And then finally, you got NXT Championship, Ricky Saints versus Obafemi. Show's gonna this match is gonna kick off Deadline. Also, they said the NXT title never
Yeah.
kicked off a NXT PLE, which I thought that was a lie, but no, it's true. So obviously, one of the Iron Survivor challenges is gonna main event, but now there's a little more to it. The winner of this match, of course, wins the NXT Championship, and for a bonus, they get to wrestle Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event in a champion versus champion match. No title on the line, by the way. I had to look that up, make sure the WWE title wasn't on the line or anything. No, it's just a champion versus champion match. So, what you got
Right.
here?
Well, I mean, I have been and am a huge Ricky Saints guy. I was a Ricky Starks guy when he was in NWA. Got turned on to him by a buddy of mine that helped train him. You've heard me mention the name Lance Romance, Randy Blakely. Um, and I'm a big fan of Ricky Starks, Ricky Saints. Big fan of Oba Femi too. This dude is what Ahmed Johnson could have been in the mid '90s. If Ahmed Johnson hadn't become a head case, this is Oba Femi. Um, he's just freakishly big, moves like a gazelle. I think it's going to be a fantastic match. The little man, big man kind of thing. Um, I'm kind of putting it along the lines, and I realize it's not the same quality. Eddie Guerrero, Brock Lesnar. Um, I think Ricky retains, though. I really do. I think Ricky figures out a way to retain, and then that Cody Rhodes Ricky Saints match should be absolutely rock star on Saturday
Oh
Night's Main
yeah,
Event.
we saw what they've done in AEW together. I think they can do it
Yeah.
on WWE television. Yeah, Ricky Saints retains, and just a quick yes or no: does Obafemi get called up after this fight, or does he stick
Yes.
around in NXT? Okay, where do you think he goes, Raw or SmackDown?
I think he goes Raw.
I
I
wanted to
really
make a
do.
list, but I forgot to do it. But maybe in a couple weeks, like not next week, because next week's show is the one I promoted a month ago, the John Cena tribute show for his final match on Saturday night's main event. Dan's coming back on Thursday night, December 11th. If Rich will be there, hopefully Rich will be there. But if not, it'll be me and Dan, but you're gonna be in for something next week. But in a couple weeks, I'm gonna get a list ready. I think I'm gonna pick five men and five women from NXT I can see get called up to go to either Raw or SmackDown. I'll get a list ready and I can tell you my opinion who I can see get called up within the next 6 months to a year from the current NXT roster we have today. I'll get that ready within the next couple weeks, but that'll about wrap it up. But I'm looking forward to next week's show about talking John Cena and sharing our love about him. And now we got it official. I think we've called this a mile away about a few months back. Cena Gunther. Yep. I should have
Yeah.
been Cena LA Knight, but I didn't watch SmackDown, but I had a feeling it was going to be Gunther again.
Well, I mean, I'm not overly upset about Cena Gunther. Gunther is far and away, to me anyway, the best wrestler on the Raw roster. Um, he's going to give Cena a hell of a match. I don't know, with it being Gunther, I don't know. Does Cena put him over, or I think Cena puts him over? And, we'll get into that more next week. But I think if he was fighting LA Knight, you would know Cena was going over.
Yeah.
You would almost know it. With this one, you've got some doubt in your mind. So it's something for us to think about for a week until we meet again.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. Dan's excited, so
Yeah,
I'll give y'all some the only thing I can bring up is like kind of like what we did with Eddie when we did his tribute show. Give me like favorite Cena rivals, favorite Cena moments, matches. If you ever seen him in person, like a little same stuff like we did when we talked to Eddie Guerrero a couple weeks back.
sure. Sounds like a
But
plan, man.
this was fun. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see y'all on the 11th.
See y'all later.
Y'all have a good weekend. Stay warm.